All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is new week number 2, math. Today is the 18th. All right, so let's jump into this. The number line shows several points, each labeled with a letter. Based on the number line, determine if the following statement is true. Okay, so we're trying to make it true because if it's false, we're going to make it true. All right. So what we're looking at is right here. So it says C is less than B. Remember, some guy's kind of like a little Pac-Man. And he's going to go towards, little jagged teeth, he's going to go towards the bigger one. So he's saying that C is smaller than B. C is smaller than B. Okay, that's what that's saying. B is bigger. So let's go over here. So C is smaller than B. So if you look at D, D is the 0. So anything to the left of 0 gets smaller as you go over further. So that means that C is actually bigger than B. Okay? C is actually bigger than B. So that little Pac-Man guy is going after the C because it's bigger. This says C is smaller than B. So this is absolutely false. To make it true, it says change the first variable. So the first variable is C. Well, what here is smaller than B? A is. So to make it true, A is smaller than B. Okay? Okay. Let's go to number 2. Same thing. Okay? D is greater than E. D is greater than E. So that means the D should be to the right of E. So D is 0. D is greater than E. Well, nope, I can say it is not. That is absolutely false. Since D is to the left of E, okay, it is not bigger, it is smaller. If I want to make this a true statement, okay, since it is false, I need to make it true. It says I can change the first variable. Well, which one is bigger than E? You got it. F is bigger than E. So that means it's okay. It's going after him. All right. 3. Same thing. So we have 0 is less than F. 0 is less than F. In other words, F is greater than 0. And that is 100% true. How do I know that? Because the F is on the right-hand side of the D, which is 0. That was an easy one. I like easy ones. 4. The number line shows several points. Okay, again, same as before. B is greater than C. I don't necessarily like the little, there we go. There we go, get our little teeth, little evil eye. There you go. All right. So B is greater than C. B is to the left of C, so we know that that is false. And if we're going to change it, okay, so what would we change the B to? Well, we could change it to D, E, or F. So D is greater than C, E is greater than C, F is greater than C. All of those would be correct. Why? All of them are to the right of B. E is greater than 0. E is greater than 0. Is it to the right of it? Yes. That makes it true. List a possible value for each letter on the number line based on its location. Be sure to justify your reasoning. All right, well, this is 0. So that means anything this way. Let's see. We could say E is 5, F is 7, C is -1, B is -2, A is -7. So how can I justify my reasoning? Well, anything to the right is going to be positive. Anything to the left is going to be negative. I could absolutely, I could add more dots here and make it all make sense. Try to space them all out evenly or something like that. But ultimately, to the left of the 0 is going to be negative. To the right of the 0 is going to be positive. And really, that's the whole point. Okay? All right. Vocabulary, inequalities. Again, we've gone over this before. Okay, so I'm going to go A. Okay, this means A is greater than B, because that's the way he's going to go. This one is A is less than B. He's going to go eat the B. A is greater than or equal to B. And then A is less than or equal to B. Okay, equal to just means it could be the same number. So the A here could be 1 and the B could be 1. The B could be 2. B could be 3. Okay? All right. Priya finds these height requirements for some of the rides at Jurassic World Park. To ride on the gyroscope, she's got to be between 55 and 72 inches tall. On the Cretaceous Cruise, she's got to be 58 inches tall. Let me clarify all that again. The gyrosphere in between 55 and 72. So 55 is the lowest I can be. 72 is the highest I can be. I have to be at least 58 inches here. And for the baby Triceratops rides, I have to be below 60 inches. Okay? All right. Write an inequality for each of the 3 height requirements. Use H for the unknown height. Then represent each height requirements on the number line. All right. For the gyrosphere, my height needs to be between 55 and 72 inches. So I have to be at least 55 inches. And I can't be more than 72 inches. So I have to be in between these two. Okay. So let's go extremes and put 72 here. Put 55 here. Now, that's not what I want to do. There we go. I need to be between 55 and 72 inches. I'm going to include 55 and include 72. Okay? So my height needs to be greater than or equal to 55, and my height needs to be less than or equal to 72. Now, on a number line, to show that I'm including those numbers, I have to have a filled in circle. Okay? And everywhere in between. So again, so my height equals less than or greater than or equal to 55, which is what you see here. And my height needs to be less than or equal to 72, which is what you see there. And it's going to be everywhere in between. And that's why I drew the line. So I have a solid circle on the 72, solid circle with the 55, and I got a line connecting the two. So everything in between. Okay? My Crustaceous Cruise. 58-inch minimum. So my height needs to be at least, so equal to 58 inches, and then anything above. So I'm going to include it, and then everything above.
Yeah.
Okay? Now you can see that I have the arrow at the end where I don't on the first one, because the arrow is showing me that it's just going to keep going up. I have no limit. It didn't say between or the maximum of, it just said a minimum. Baby Triceratops. Under 60 inches. Less than 60 inches. Okay, now the wording under 60 inches. Is that including 60 inches? Can I be 60 inches or under? It doesn't say that. So I'm going to assume that it is anything under. So here's my 60. Since it's not including it, I'm going to make this a big round one. So I'm not including 60, but it's anything underneath it is okay. Okay? So it's 60 inches, it's anything under 60. So I have an open circle at 60. I have a line going down and an arrow on the end saying keep going down. Okay? 2. Han's cousin is 55 inches tall. Han doesn't think she is tall enough to ride the gyrosphere. But Kieran believes she is tall enough. Do you agree with Han or Kieran? Okay, Han's cousin is 55 inches tall. Han doesn't think she is tall enough. Okay, so 55 inches. And Karan believes she is tall enough. Not tall enough? Tall enough. So the gyrosphere, again, was between 55 and 72. Okay? Now, I included it. Okay? So you could have an argument at this point. So between 55 and 72 inches. It doesn't specifically say minimum 55, maximum 72. It says between. So you could make the argument that it's not 55 or 72. It's anything above 55 and anything below 72. So we could go back and we could change that. Okay? I could do an open circle here. I could do an open circle here. And I would remove my equal symbol here. So, between 55 and 72. Well, Han's cousin is 55 inches tall. Hans does not think she's tall enough. She is not over 55. She's not between 55 and 72. So I'm going to say in that instance, I'm going to say in that instance that Han is correct. Han, because it does not include 55. Now, wording is interesting, but if you went to, say, an amusement park and they had that there, you would assume that if they had a, they said 55 and 72, you're going to assume that 55 is the minimum and 72, which is the maximum. But in this instance, it doesn't specify. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, 3. Priya can ride the baby Triceratops ride, but she cannot ride the gyrosphere or the Cretaceous cruise, which, if any, of the following could be Priya's height. All right. So she can ride the baby Triceratops. So baby Triceratops is, okay, so that is less than 60. Cannot ride the gyrosphere. That was in between 55 and 72. And she can't ride the Cretaceous cruise, which is above 58. Okay. So can't do that one. Can't do that one. Can do this one. So now that means that Priya is less than 60 inches. Okay, she's less than 60 inches. She's not in between 55 and 72. So she's not 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Okay? So she's not 56, 57, 58, or 59. She's not 60 because of here. Okay, Priya is less than 60, so she's not 60. She can't be 59, 58, 57, or 56 because of this one. And she cannot be greater than 58 or equal to 58. So that's fine there. So I would say that Priya has to be less or equal to 55. And if we come over to our answers, okay, well, she can't be 59 because that falls in between with number 2. She can't be 56 because that falls within number 2, the gyrosphere. So that means she can be 53. Ooh, that was a fun one. I like that one. Okay. Jada is 56 inches tall. Which rides can she go on? Well, she could go on the gyrosphere because that's in between 55 and 72. Okay, since she's 56, she cannot go on the Cretaceous cruise, less than 60, but she could go on the baby Triceratops. Because she is less than 60. Okay, Kieran is 60 inches tall. Which rides can she go on? Okay, so let's see. She's 60 inches tall. So let's go back up here. If she is less than 6, she can't do the baby Triceratops. Greater than, so she can do the Cretaceous cruise. And she could do the gyrosphere. So gyrosphere and the Cretaceous cruise. The inequality's height is less than 75 and height is more than 64 represents the height restrictions in inches of another ride. Write 3 values that are solutions to both of these inequalities. Okay? Height is, okay, so we're going to do it this way. All right, so it has to be less than 75, but greater than 64. So let's make sure it works. Less than 75, greater than 64. Well, 65, does that fit? Is that greater than 64? Yes. Is that less than 75? Yes. 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. 74 is less than 75 and greater than 64, yes. Why don't I have 64? Because it's not saying equal to. Why don't I have 75? Because it's not saying equal to. So that is all of the ones that you can have for that one. What number am I? The scientists in Jurassic Park used clues found within the DNA to solve the riddle of engineering their dinosaurs. You will likewise use clues to solve a riddle. What number am I? You will be presented with a series of clues. Based on each clue, you will determine the number that X represents. Your choices are -5, -4, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So let's go. So we have -5, -4, -1, 0, 1, 2, 4, 5. What number am I? X is greater than 1. So that means not -5, not -4, not -1, not negative, or not, there we go, not 0. Greater than 1, not including 1. So that means we're down to 2, 4, and 5. Okay? So we have 2, 4, 5. Based on the inequality graphed above, do you still think your original number is correct? If so, why? If not, why? And to what number would you change your answer? Okay. So this inequality is 3 is less than, nope, 3 is greater than or equal to, it's equal because that is solid. 3 is greater than or equal to, that's it, because it's that arrow, open arrow at the end just goes all the way down. So let's see, based on the inequality graphed above, do you think the original number is correct? Well, I had 3 numbers. I had 2, 4, and 5 were left after that. So I know it's 2, 4, or 5. 3 is greater than or equal to that number. Okay, so it could be 2. Well, that's it. Because it couldn't be 4 and it couldn't be 5. Right? Because that would be to the right, and that would make 3 smaller than. So that means I'm crossing off 4 and 5. So right now I'm thinking 2. Based on the 3 clues, do you still think your number is correct? Well, I think it's 2. X is less than 6. Is 2 less than 6? Is 2 less than 6? Yes. And that's how I just justified my answer. Since x equals 2, I plug it in. 2 is less than x. Yay! So 2. Good job. Is each equation true or false? Explain or show your reasoning. All right, well, let's give it a shot. 3 times the quantity, 12 plus 5, equals 3 times 12 times 3.5. Well, remember, order of operations, you do what's inside the parentheses first. So we're going to do the math. All right, so it's 3 times the quantity, 17, equals, okay, so 3 times 12, 12, 24, 36, times 3 times 5, which is 15. All right, now, let's keep going. Okay, 3 times 17 is 51. 36 times 15 is 540. Is each equation true or false? Okay, well, let me just do a quick look at my math again. 12 plus 5 is 17. 3 times 17 is 51. 3 times 12 is 36. 3 times 5 is 15. 36 times 15 is 540. So no. And how do I explain my reasoning? By showing my work. All right, next one. 1/3 times 3/4 equals 3/4 times 2/6. Okay? So let's see. And when we just multiply this, we go straight across, right? So that's 3 over 12 equals 6 over 6, 12, 24. Now, I like to simplify. You know I like to simplify. So 3/12 simplify is, I'm going to simplify, 1, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, quarter equals 6, 12, 18, 24. So 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 24 2 times. So yes. How do I justify my answer? I'm showing my math. Okay, so number 3, 2 times the quantity 1.5 times 12 equals 4 times the quantity 0.7. Okay, so we're going to do 2 times 1.5, which is 3 times 12 equals, and then we'll do 4 times 0.75, which is 3 times 6. Okay, so then we got 3 times 12, which is your 36. And then you have 3 times 6, which is 18. All right, I'm going to check my math. So 2 times the quantity 1.5 times 12. 2 times 1.5 is 3. 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 0.75 is 3. 3 times 6 is 18. So they are not equal. Okay, how did I justify it? There's my math. It's a great thing about math. Show your math and you've justified your answer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Like I said, that was a little longer than usual. You did good. See you.